Obstetric violence is defined as inappropriate or disrespectful treatment given by medical staff to women during pregnancy, childbirth, and the postpartum period. It includes verbal violence, physical violence, denial of patient autonomy, the practice of unconsented or unnecessary medical procedures, discrimination based on race, age, or ethnic background. This form of gender-based violence and trauma puts women, birthing people, and their children at serious health risks. Some of these risks include postpartum acute stress disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and postpartum depression. Other risks include chronic pain, the lack of sexual pleasure, infertility, disability, and even death of the mother, fetus, or newborn. In this 4-part series, we are looking at obstetric violence. What is it? How does it affect women and their children? And how do we fight it? This is episode 2.
It scared me so much so that I vowed to never have a child again. I was even scared to hold my child because I was going to be said, oh, Vele, this is what you wanted. Because now I'm just, holding my baby. My mom, thank God for her, she was present. She was mostly present for my child and me in a way. Emotionally, I was alone. I was on autopilot. I was like, I just wasn't there. Like, I wasn't present for any moments. Like, looking back, I never took pictures. I felt like I deserved it, honestly speaking. Like, I just, for lack of a better word, overanalyze myself and how I say things to him, do things to him.
I went into the operation, woke up after the operation. I couldn't take care of my child the first day of her life. I think that's the one thing that touches me. Like, I spend every night with my daughter now. Maybe that's something I should see someone about, but I can't not spend time with her because I always feel like the first day of her life she wasn't with me. And I get touched by that just because someone didn't tell me something and I could have made better decisions. It was my first time giving birth and they were aware. But because of the experience, I had to go through an operation. I'm thankful that throughout my experience, my daughter was she was 100. And even her, there's something they say for babies when they're born. It's called APGAR or something like that. It was high and she was great and she's still great. And I'm getting back to myself. And I'm actually now trying to start a personal journey of self-love after having given birth and prioritize someone for a period of my life, sort of. So I'm even thinking of maybe doing my hair, doing my nails. As a mom, it would be weird, but I think although the experience happened, I'm moving on health-wise. I'm pretty good.
My biggest feeling, even till now, is that they ruined my experience as a new mom. Like, I couldn't enjoy the first month of my baby's life. I felt very misunderstood, and it really hurt to see new moms come in and go through the motions of what I went through. Because at some point I wanted to leave. I said, I'm leaving, I'm taking my child. They kept telling me it's illegal, you can't take her, she's underweight, and if you do that, we're not going to give her vaccinations. And it was only the nurses that were now looking after the babies in the NICU that started, giving me issues. Because firstly, there was one who had a hearing problem. So every time I speak, she wouldn't wear a hearing aid. She would get angry at me for silly things. I don't even remember what actually she got, but she would always snap at me. Then there was another one who was making fun of the way I would hold the baby when I'm breastfeeding. The other issue was I wasn't producing the breast milk in time. So there was a lot of guilt trip. Like, everybody takes a turn to guilt trip you. If it's not the nurses, it's the lady who serves rooibos tea in the little mommy room, because they give you rooibos tea to produce. You just get there and they're like, where were you? Your baby was crying of hunger the whole night. So I chose to be discharged. They said, okay, you have to spend 1 day in the normal obstetrics ward. And that was another bad thing. I was never given food lunchtime. But when I wanted to leave, I was just basically told I'm being dramatic, like I'm saying, I'm going to put my child at risk and so on. But when the other lady, who was a white lady, said she wants to leave, all the doctors went to her. They spoke to her nicely, calmed her down. Please don't go, this and that. It also shows, the different treatment that we get when we're there. And of course, she was a nice woman, nothing against her personally. But to see her being handled softly, where I was always yelled at and told, don't be a troublemaker, you talk too much, this and that. It also made me feel like nothing really. Yeah, I will never be okay. I mean, just to see a nurse's uniform, I don't see somebody that I can go to.
In the next episode, we will investigate what challenges exist in the healthcare sector, particularly in the labor wards, that may be the leading cause of obstetric violence, particularly in South Africa.